The Da Vinci Code.
The dress.
Dressing.
Code?
Codes.
Vinci.
The
Code.
dress-
Is it Dresch?
The
now?
Da Vinci Dresch Code.
Deutsch code.
That's Angels and Demons.
Part 4.
Part 4, Part 6. Where we answer life's most important, non-important questions about music, comedy, the arts, theater, whatnot.
And sound effects.
And sound effects.
How did none of us start off by saying you're listening to Donut Hippo?
Oh my god!
That was can we start?
So, if you need context, all right.
Which everybody does.
Before we do the context, let's introduce everyone around the round couch.
Right, you can lower that mic a little bit.
I'd like
First
yelling
guest.
Is this
just to get it out of your face on the video.
And Ryan's making out the mic now.
Is this better?
There you
Well,
go.
you know, I'm a month into being single. You take a re-guess.
Kind of got a. What's the Tim Allen show where the neighbor is always coming?
yeah.
There you go.
That kind of vibe going.
Wilson.
better?
Yeah.
But, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
There's that one episode where they show his face, and that's really weird.
Well, that's a weird episode.
Weird
Yeah.
as cuss.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted that.
You can cuss on this show. It's fine.
I know, but I like saying cuss.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, see, because if you say cuss, then people automatically, they like autofill the cuss word.
They take the word.
And it's like you get to pick what the swear word is, you know?
It's kinda, it's like choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose your own adventure.
It's like those great moments in unnecessary censorship things. I love
Oh,
those.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Exactly. So let's go around the round couch and introduce everyone.
I like it.
Not round table, round couch.
Round couch.
Semicircle, whatever.
Round couch.
First guest, writer, actress, marketing maverick.
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 Oh.
McCain.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
She's a maverick.
Kaitlynn Wornson, welcome.
Thank you.
And singer-songwriter, artist, extraordinaire maverick.
Is everybody a
You're also an
Everyone's
extraordinary.
a maverick now.
Everyone's an extraordinary
Maverick
maverick.
extraordinary.
Brian Hoffman, thank you for being on the show, Brian.
I feel like I should be clapping.
Well, see, when no one clapped for her, now it seems rude.
Oh, it's okay.
Retroactive clapping!
Comedian, writer, host of Perlocution, and like cranberry sauce.
Liker of cranberry.
Liker of
Liker
cranberry
of, yeah.
sauce.
Gotta get the
White
pronoun
boy.
in.
Cranberry sauce.
Maverick. So, context.
Yes.
The last time Kaitlynn, Ryan, and I we hosted a show at KCFS called Donut Hippo, where we answered life's important, non-important questions as well.
Submitted by audience members
Right.
who kind of trolled us while the show was on, and it was awesome.
It was wonderful.
And each episode had a theme, and we just figured out with questions based on that theme, and we had guests every episode. So this is a 3-year-in-the-making reunion.
What was your guys' favorite themes? Do you remember?
All I remember right now is cereal.
Oh, that was a good one.
We talked about cereal for a full episode.
That was a fun
That
one.
was a full hour of cereal talk.
I'm well-versed in cereal.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the podcast or the actual cereal?
We were talking about like cereal.
This is before the podcast came out.
Oh, so this is totally about
Or that we
breakfast
really-
cereal. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't know about it at the time, I think.
I
The
think
ones
it
that
did
cut the
exist.
top of your mouth, the ones that don't, that kind of thing. The
Right.
ones that go soggy way too fast.
Oh,
Rice
that's a serious
Krispies,
one,
terrible.
yeah.
45 minutes later, oh god, we did it again!
So many levels.
But yeah, there are a bunch of levels of that.
Yeah.
Because Captain Crunch can do some damage, even though it'd be pretty good. And also, I found out Reese's Puffs do some damage.
They don't
You have to
go.
let
They
them
don't go.
soak.
They don't
Yeah.
soak it up though.
Yeah,
It takes a good like 10 minutes for them to
because
get the
that
right.
peanut butter coating, I think, stops it.
Yeah.
From, you know.
I
All
tried
that
to. I tried to
fake
make
food.
whipped cream out of those one time. And it doesn't soak up the cream right.
Yeah, I had a bowl of Cocoa Puffs last week, and it did hurt the roof of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because you weren't chewing right.
Probably true. Probably true. I was like angrily watching like Joe Rogan's podcast. Just
I feel like that's
Tony
the
only
only
wants
way.
you to keep talking about cereal.
yeah. Why Roseanne? All right. Just watching that.
There's so many different kinds.
Right. So
Anyway.
That's why you remember the series.
Yeah, no, it was impactful
right.
episode. I need to go back and see who was on that one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember now.
I feel like was it?
If you remember this,
I don't remember.
Please
Okay.
let us know.
I remember the guests on our show, a lot of them, but I just don't remember the topics. I remember Darren Kai. I remember Matt Fierkenstad. I remember Simon Floss. I remember
Joe Obermueller.
Joe Obermueller.
Jinx.
Dan from Total Drag was on. Nick Thomas from Spill Camps was on.
Yup.
Ashley Maturin.
Yep.
Was Kristen on? Kristen Vanderpool? She was
Yep,
on.
she was on. Did you say Dennis Toom too?
Dennis Toom, yeah, that's
Dennis
right.
T.
Yeah, a lot of USF people. Hi, USF peeps, if you're listening.
Shout out to USF. Go
Yeah.
Coo. Still paying back those loans,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And they keep asking for more money.
And then they want you to donate! What the cuss is that?
John Mulaney's bit on that is priceless.
Yeah,
So
that was
good.
good.
It's so good.
Like 120,000. 4 years. Like, he keeps repeating it over and like 4 years.
Now you want me to give you more.
What did you do with that money? Anyways.
Give me shitty pizza, that's what you did.
Yeah, right. So how this show works is I have a bucket full of topics and questions about
It's a
music
jar.
comedy.
Yeah, that's totally.
It's a jucket.
A jucket, which is not a
I'm
derogatory
gonna
term.
find you a bucket.
It's not a derogatory
We
term.
need to get you a
The
bucket
jacket?
next time.
Jacket.
Jucket. Anyway,
I don't think
You heard it here first, folks. A
Jacket.
jacket.
put that in the dictionary.
It's a
Webster.
jar that's referred to as a bucket.
Yes.
It's still just a jar,
Yeah.
but if you refer to it as a bucket, it's a jar.
In our hearts, it's a bucket.
Right. Put it in the dictionary Webster and suck it with a jucket.
So-
Oh!
All right. So how this show works? So we have questions and topics in this thing about music, comedy, and the arts and movies in general, just random things. And we decide, does this pass or fail the Dresch code? If we say pass, we'll talk about it. Fail, no. And I think it's, after last night, I think it's easier if we just say yes or no to the topics.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Because last night, every episode, like the last 13 or 14 episodes, there was like, wait, does pass
We've
make
had
good?
14 episodes.
How many of these questions are about Weird Al Yankovic?
I'm gone
Oh,
for
God.
one night, and nobody knows how the show works.
No.
It's because Ryan secretly runs everything.
Right.
No,
Total anarchy.
Cats and dogs.
That was a theme on Donut Hippo one time.
That was, oh yeah, that's right. I think it was episode 3 or 4.
I was going for a Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Okay.
saying, it's like cats living with like mass hysteria.
So shall we get started with the first topic or question?
Let's
Out
do
of the
it.
Jacket.
We shall.
Ryan, did you get
I would love to.
Jacket.
Thank you.
you up?
What's an ideal quality you look for? What's an ideal quality you look for in a scene partner?
So for,
Scene
I
partner.
guess
Scene partner? Like in acting?
this was a theater question, I think.
It must be.
We could turn around and be like, what's an ideal quality you look for when you perform with someone on stage? How about we do it that way?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Talk about it? If you perform with someone on stage, or is it kind of a
I mean,
half and
It's-
half?
it seems like
Robert, you're the tiebreaker, I think. What would you...
seems
Down.
fail it.
Eh.
We have 5 people. How is that half and half?
No.
Math.
I only did this.
Comedy.
So it's half.
Comedy.
Comedy. I guess.
Try again.
Guess nobody likes my question.
I liked it. Make up a genre of music right now.
Oh my god.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. Emo, ska, Eskimo.
Damn it, you took my stuff.
That's actually a thing, though. Like, I feel like that's actually a thing.
I don't hear a lot of sad trombones and punk music, though. It's like...
Sad trombones and bumpy.
I mean,
Don't pick it up.
Is there such thing as country reggae?
Is there?
I think that maybe. It
I mean,
seems
like twangy
Some
country
reggae with some good twang.
Yes, I mean,
I feel like someone's gonna tap into that. And
yeah,
it's-
it has to be.
and
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you got
Like a
you
Bob
got-
Marley, Willie Nelson hybrid.
Yeah,
Kind of
I was gonna say hip hop, but I was in
Oh.
Nashville all winter, so I've heard enough of that.
Sneeze core. It's basically just music done by people with allergies for people with allergies.
Might be like Ferris Bueller when he's playing his.
I mean, there's a harmonica player, but really, like, it's really inconsistent because he's sneezing all the time because they put cats in there with him.
It's like Allergies Anonymous or something like that.
There is
But they have like activities.
There
just
is
to-
dust in every instrument. There's dust in every instrument, no matter what, somehow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And if you're allergic, oh, I know. That's all I'm saying. Like,
It's gonna be a sneeze fest.
right. Especially if it's a mouth instrument, there's going to be dust on it, and it's going to be bad.
So we do 2 more.
Think so, 2 more genres?
Well, I was just gonna say good country, but
Oh.
Bravo.
Dale
It would sound like
Sean
that.
Line says gangster country.
I've actually heard
is
you.
that.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
guys-
the thing
Have
that
you guys
exists.
heard Ghetto Cowboy? I mean, that's gangster country.
It's a thing that really
Yeah,
happens.
there's something called there's hip hop, and then it's like
Oh, yeah,
there's,
yeah.
There's like big stars, and I'd never heard any of this stuff, but we installed cable at some guy's house who was supposed to be some huge like hip hop star. Like, I'm never gonna listen to it, but it's
Yeah.
nice to know you exist.
Have you ever listened to Jewish gangster rap?
No, but I will
Oh
try
my
it after
God.
this.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing, unfortunately.
Das Racist? Is that? There's one called Das Racist.
Man.
It's a Jewish hip hop song.
Yeah, it's a hip hop band.
What?
It's very.
I mean,
weird.
yeah. So,
What's
wow.
the name of the Jewish hip hop band in the movie Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist? There's like one.
Oh yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
turning
Yeah.
to me?
Because you should know these things.
I don't.
Okay.
I know the.
All I know is
So
Lil
they-
Dicky. I
people
think he's
expected the
Jewish.
band Where's Fluffy to be at this venue,
Yeah,
and
and then it was
being a
that
Jewish
other
hip hop band.
Yeah, it was that other.
Right.
And the
One
guy,
guy's
the guy
dancing
loves
at-
it so much he takes his shirt off
Yeah.
and jumps around.
Tell you
yeah.
what, I'll Google it for you.
Yeah.
Google is saving the day again.
I distinctly remember.
Can't wait to say that in 50 years.
Wah, wah.
There's a bit that Dane Cook once did,
Star.
which doesn't sound cool.
Star?
Yep, Star.
Go on.
SHTA.
Star, okay.
Star.
Star.
There's a,
Quicker than me on the search.
there's a bit once Dane Cook did where he goes, "Hey, here's a little thing. Go to YouTube, punch your keyboard. There's a video for that. It's just like if you punch A:(F6, there's a fat kid with a shirtless with a A:(FCX." And there was actually.
You know
I
that
remember
because you did
those-
that.
I did it. I
Those
had time
first
on my hands.
videos, like on YouTube, like when first like videos, like first they started having violence, because you'd get like email ones or something, you know,
Right,
old.
yeah.
But I remember like the dramatic chipmunk and everything like that.
Yes.
Like there's like that was great, and then now it's like it's so weird. Like
Yeah.
I mean. I don't know, because now I'm watching like cult documentaries instead of like a cute little squirrel like riding a jet ski. You
It would
know,
have been so
like-
much better if you just stuck with the
Yeah,
squirrels.
it's way more pleasant. I can sleep better thinking about that.
And like the ins and outs of that cult.
They're really railing on the country. Hick hop is
Hick
the
hop.
word suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a thing.
Oh,
though. You said that,
country
right?
music.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Cult Core.
Crap.
Cult Core. Which is 21 Pilots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the cult. So, next question.
yeah. The best, most ridiculous band names you've ever heard.
Oh, I got
Oh
one.
man.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
Talk
thumbs
about
up for sure.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thumbs up,
Yeah,
man.
thumbs up.
I don't know why I'm thinking bowling for soup. It just-
I forgot about this.
It is
Fred,
ridiculous.
Shannon McIntyre said we should talk about this on the show. Are they bowling in honor of soup or
in soup.
to earn
To
soup?
win soup.
To
I feel
earn
like they're-
I was
Yeah.
supposed to earn soup.
They're trying
Yeah.
to earn
Yeah,
something.
it's
Because they're
like,
hungry.
I imagine, yeah, it's like a shelter, and then like they don't have enough soup, so they have a bowling
Yeah.
tournament
It's really competitive.
every Saturday, and whatever team,
No soup for you!
whatever team of hungry homeless people wins gets the soup.
Yeah.
and then they become star bowlers and
Yeah,
win money.
It's like
you
a
know?
sci-fi dystopian future in the distant year of 2003. A brutal competition for the last of the food goes to the bowlers.
I still contend
This summer.
it's.
Hungry Games.
Yeah. For me, it's the Christian metal band Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, but why?
There's a band called Dan and Aykroyd.
That's pretty good.
Nice.
That's actually good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and another band called Natalie Portman's Shaved Head.
Oh no.
Yeah, they
That's
only
gotta be
lasted
hardcore as
two-
hell.
Yeah.
There was back in this was when I was in high school. There was a band down in Nebraska. Do you remember that Terry Schiavo, the lady that was on?
Yeah.
They were called Terry Schiavo Unplugged.
Jesus Christ.
She was basically
Wow.
vegetable.
Yeah.
And like,
But that,
Oh my god.
yeah, it's a.
Oh god.
this was
It was
all
pretty-
over
it was
the news
pretty
for
rough.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid
Yeah.
like, this is like all that they talked about. for,
Yeah.
like- and then the
Really
Pope
long time.
died, and then they focused on that for a
Mhm.
while.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And then
And
they
then
went
they
back
went
to Terry. Yeah, they went back to Terry Schiavo.
I'm not sure if there's like a dead Pope band, but I mean,
I'm
if
sure there is.
Ghost?
Like I feel like
Ghost.
there is.
Ghost.
Sure, fair
That's
enough.
not, yeah.
There are popes who smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Smoky
yeah,
Pups. Love that band.
I think like for like ridiculous name though, it still wouldn't be the Terry Schiavo was probably like the most offensive one I've heard, but like probably like midget hand job. Like yeah, that's a pretty.
I like that one too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Sounds
actually
like a
pretty
great time.
clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's dirtier bands.
The band, not the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah,
Either
Andy
or.
Swan. There's a band called Anal Cunt. And the song titles are actually more outrageous than that. Like sentence-long titles. Just look them up, Robert. I'm just kidding.
There's a band that's
Better
just
go
called
in incognito mode for that.
There's just and then two dots, and they make the weirdest shit you've ever heard. It's like movie cuts and kind of electro and like all this weird stuff all happening, and then they have cats on the cover.
What's the name of this?
Um,
I'm looking this up too.
You have to. And you probably won't forget the name of it now.
I mean,
because
it's
of
hard
it.
to. But what's the name of it?
that's perfect. Yeah, that's good.
That's probably how they
good way
name
to keep
themselves.
What should we be called? Perfect.
I think that U2
Who's on
is an
first?
objectively shitty band name. I'll say that.
Say you two.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who? You two?
U2.
There's a whole episode of Scrubs where Elliot was looking through her CD collection and goes, "Oh, I love you too," and her boyfriend goes, "Really?" And she freaks out. Like, there's a whole episode based on that.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I have to say Maroon 5 doesn't make sense to me as a name. Like, there's just 5 of them and they were all wearing maroon shirts or something
they're
one
not
day,
even
and they're
maroon.
like, yeah,
Now there's 8 of them.
They were originally
exactly.
Or like
Yeah.
Ben Folds 5.
Well,
There's
there's
never been 5 members.
They were originally the Burgundy Boys, but it didn't catch on.
That's who they are from now on. Who sings this? The Burgundy Boys.
You may have heard of them as Maroon 5.
Yeah,
Their
that's a
true
great.
nature.
That's a great cover band. If anybody,
If you're running his
yeah.
5 covers,
Yeah.
just Burgundy Boys.
They're sitting on a gold mine.
That's amazing.
We're going down, downtown, sitting on a... Oh, that's the wrong song. Yeah. Whoop, we're gonna slip down. Working in a cult. That's working in a cult.
Yep.
Colt mine?
Working in
Coal
a coal mine,
That
yeah.
makes more sense than
Colt
Colt
mine.
mine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Burgundy Boys is gonna last forever for me.
really
That should be the name of this episode.
Zach Dresch and the Burgundy Boys.
We dress in Ron Burgundy outfits and play
Yes!
Maroon 5
That's,
covers.
that's actually an awesome idea.
That would be
I like that,
amazing.
yeah.
I'd pay to see that.
We sing the Maroon 5 songs as Ron Burgundy. She will be loved.
It's way easier.
I'd like to play the Yes flute, please.
Yeah.
Flute solo.
What boy's got it? What jazz flute? Yes flute.
Yes flute.
I'm not prepared.
I'm just gonna throw cake out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah, it's kind of a...
cake.
That's a band?
Because there's,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
some of
they're
those,
great.
like cake
Yeah.
and then bread. That kind of is the same,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah, just like pointing out things. Lamp.
Bush.
Band name.
lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bush.
Bush.
Bush. Yeah. Whatever. Bush.
Tool.
Porno for
police.
Pyros.
What's going on? The police are here. Oh, well, that's their name. That's
The police, yeah,
Yeah.
police. They're here.
Odd.
Led Zeppelin.
The who?
Guess who?
Guess who?
The who? I like that.
Def Leppard. What? Sorry. Next topic.
Def Leppard.
I was getting ready to throw out Prince, but
It's like
Prince.
Ah.
but that's an
it's like the
awesome
Burgundy
name, so I
Boys
can't-
and
Yeah,
the
you can't
hearing
even knock
impaired
that.
I don't say
cats.
anything
You
about Prince.
can't.
Hearing impaired jungle cats.
Do you drink before shows or performances? Why or why not? Half and half on that one.
I'm kind of in the middle on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
She'll talk about
do
it
it.
briefly.
Just because I don't really drink, so I mean,
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
So
Okay.
Well, I have a
No,
second to
never
it, so-
before show.
Yeah.
No.
ask me about smoking before a show
Yeah.
I,
fail that one, I think.
and after. Sometimes.
Yeah,
in between.
I don't like to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll maybe have like a beer or something like that, but I've had like one time, and it was up in Brookings, and I drank like too much before a show because we were at the brewery up there, and then like, I don't know, I don't remember my set, and I never want to do that again.
Yeah.
Most people I see get drunk before their sets. It does not go well.
No.
And like the last time I saw it, I heard a guy yell offensive names towards homosexuals for probably a better part of 5 minutes.
Wait.
Oof.
And
Jeez.
I mean, I get where he was going, but it didn't go there well.
But he
Like
didn't
that.
get there the right
No,
way.
Yeah.
he just and
Yeah.
eventually he just walked off the stage and walked out of the bar without paying his tab. So,
Oh,
Oh,
shoot.
so I try not to do that.
Yeah.
There was one night, it was my birthday, and I had 2 Coors Lights at Wacko's, and I decide I'm gonna go on stage and crush it. And I had a good night. It was a solid set. I'm like, maybe I should drink more often.
Was it really a solid set, or was that like you drunk something like, oh, we're killing it?
No, it was a fun one because
Okay.
I impersonated all the comics afterwards
nice.
on stage. That was one of those fun nights where they gave me like an extra 5 minutes. Like, yeah, go nuts.
In that case, maybe you should do it every now and then.
So I was just like,
I feel like it's fine if you do that every once in a while, but like if you're doing it every
week,
single
yeah.
time, then that tells me that you gotta.
You might have another underlying issue.
Yeah, you
going
got
on.
some anxiety. You gotta get under control there.
And I'll admittedly, I know, like with some anxiety, like I would do that, and that'd be the main exact reason. But then, like exactly, you need to like kind of like if I need to drink to do this, and something that you put a lot of work into, I want to do it with a clear head.
Yeah, you want to do it well.
So you can do it the best of your ability.
exactly. I agree.
Unless you practice drunk, go all out.
In which case, you're poor livered.
I've tried to write jokes drunk, like I sat at home and bought a case of Not Your Father's Root Beer, and I just fell asleep. So, that was,
That's awesome.
even during college.
Great story, by the way, too. I had some beer and then I passed out.
It was like the first 4 or 5 months I was doing comedy, like, how do you get inspired? And I'm like, oh, a lot of comics drink, I'll try that.
And you got your joke out of it.
Right.
There you go.
Isn't that the worst though? Being like, this is a thing that people do, right? Like I should do that too.
And I try and I just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then you're sitting there and you're like, is everybody in this profession an alcoholic?
Yeah, like,
I've done that while painting too. Like I'll like in a server, and then like I'm like, yeah, I'll go over and paint, and then like I'll like the next day I'll like because I'm like, yeah, this is really cool. And I wake up in the morning I'm like, what the hell were you doing?
It's abstract.
right.
Exactly.
Paint your face and mush it against the canvas.
Hey, you were feeling things.
Next topic.
That one went a lot farther than I thought it would.
Yeah, we all like kind of thumbs down and then we talked about it.
All right, there you go.
Are there any side projects of famous musicians that you prefer more than their primary band?
I like Eminem's diss tracks.
I'll talk
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
Yep.
My bad, I forgot to thumb.
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
I don't know.
Green Day has a really good side project called Foxborough Hot Tubs, which is like fun garage rock.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real band, and they had alter egos, and it's the same
Interesting.
band, but just back more
So
musicians.
it's like Green Day, but like Chris Gaines.
No. Oh, Chris Gaines is the worst.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Rough.
It's not Garth Brooks.
He's wearing eyeliner. Yes, it is. It's him wearing makeup. I saw it. I personally threw that CD out of my car.
I don't know if this counts as a side project, but you know when like Dylan and Bruce Springsteen, I think, the Traveling Wilburys,
Oh,
is that a
Traveling-
side project?
Yeah,
I feel
Springsteen
like
wasn't
kinda
in
is.
it. It was Dylan, Petty,
Petty, that's what it was.
George Harrison, Jeff Lynne from Electric Light Orchestra, and then Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
I just watched the Tom Petty documentary recently. That's how I.
Yeah. It was really
I was
good.
gonna say you pulled that all out of nowhere. That's really
I know,
that's
I'm really proud of
knowledgeable,
you right
man.
now.
Like, did you plan these?
You should have never.
We
You should have said
researched
anything.
it,
Like,
actually.
I've
Yeah.
been.
You know, Traveling Wilburys is dope. I love the harmonies. Just like all of them knew how to write songs just so well. Just
Yeah. Well, they play off each other really, really well.
like yeah,
Stone Sour? Question mark.
yeah.
Like Stone Sour is. I've not heard a bad song by them.
Yeah,
No.
Every
and
single
I
one's
honestly like it. I mean, it might be blasphemy to some people, but I like it better than Slipknot. But I've never really been much into metal. I liked it right away, like when I was younger. But
Slipknot had
Stone
some
Sour's good.
accessible
Yeah.
singles that I liked.
Yeah.
But then like the Stone Sour is more of a rock
Yeah.
instead of a metal guy. Foo Fighters is technically a side project.
Is it
yeah,
really?
technically,
Oh.
yeah.
From Nirvana, but an unfortunate side.
But
Yeah,
then
it
it
wasn't
became the
planned.
main project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's,
Yeah.
There was
Sad.
actually that one Nirvana song that Dave Grohl sang on that.
Miracle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
I like that. So Foo Fighters technically is a side project.
Also, Device, which was Disturbed's little side project.
Oh yeah,
Was-
I remember that.
There was some quality stuff on there.
Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park's side project Fort Minor.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
good,
liked
too.
that.
Oh shit! I love Fort Minor. That was a
Yeah.
side project.
Yeah,
Damn.
and they kept this year when Chester passed away. They
Yeah.
kept thinking like, "Hey, is he going to do Fort Minor again?" He never ended up doing it, but I think I definitely don't doubt that he would at some point.
That'd be awesome.
You have no
That'd be
doubt.
pretty cool.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Speaking of,
Wait,
Their
does
side-
that
their
make
side
her solo
project
stuff
summed out.
the side project?
I consider her solo stuff a side project because
Yeah.
I don't like it. I have very heated opinions.
You're
I
not, you're,
love
not a
No
fan,
Doubt.
you're not a fan of Bananas? B-A-N-A-S? No, not at all.
I will admit, Hollaback Girl's a jam.
That
I
shit's
do
terrible.
love that song.
That's a great song at dances for
I will
sure.
punch
Yeah.
my radio if it comes on.
that
But
song
will
gives
you
me
dance
more.
to it?
That
I'm
song
sorry.
gives me rage, but I do use it to annoy my daughter sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good.
Trying to think what else there would be that was like significant.
Trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too about like a side project that I like.
I want to hear more from Slash's thing he's got going on now.
Oh, with Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge. Yeah.
Actually, them Crooked Vultures.
Oh, that was great.
That was a pretty good one because I Queens of the Stone Age are pretty good, but I liked the music on that.
Yeah, it was
better.
different.
Like,
yeah.
well, like, 'cause, I mean, the rhythm section alone, you have Dave Grohl playing drums, and you have John Paul Jones, and then like so the rhythm section is great, and then Josh Homme.
What comment?
But
Yoko Ono's side project of shutting the fuck up. Oh, okay, wow.
God. You win that one, Lee.
That was...
Technically, Wings was a side project.
Oh, yeah.
That's a damn good one.
Yeah,
it
what if
became primary. But...
All my friends are dead.
Oh.
Oh.
and then that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do
That one's dead now.
Oh, did you do the last
I
one?
got that one, so that's a zero.
Okay.
It's all you.
Do you think bands that don't sell more than XL shirts are trying to promote a healthier body image?
If they
Yes
are,
or no?
if they
Yes.
are, then
I'll go with
Talk
it.
about it.
I think so. Like,
if they're
hey,
trying to do that, then fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
not doing like that. Okay?
That's discrimination.
Yeah, I don't want your shirt.
there's actually certain bands that I went to the show, and it's a band that, you know what, I like the songs, but it's geared more towards a female audience. Like, I love All Time Low, but it's primarily a female-dominated audience.
I like how you're looking at me while you're saying that. Like it's just you. It's just you.
I know you love All Time Low. Don't friggin' lie to me.
I can't even name one of their songs, so there's that.
But it's like, I've been to shows where there's like 5 rows of people by the front of the stage, and I'm the only guy, and there's like females fighting at the chance to get up front. I'm like, I should be way back in the
way
crowd.
back.
Or you're in the perfect place.
Right.
Man can't take them all. I'm just
Right.
saying.
And I'm just like, what? But All Time Low, guaranteed they probably don't have more than an XL shirt in their crowd.
But I feel like when you're like going on tour, they're probably like, all right, what size do we need? I don't know. Let's just outfit children. Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
some
I
places,
suppose
you
though,
know.
and then especially if the band established like that, you do have your certain like demographic. Like,
Yeah,
'cause I
mostly
know
teenagers.
Yeah.
you don't see the Wiggles selling
Yeah.
5XL.
I mean, I did, but that was disturbing. So.
Right, yeah. Jesus. We have a lot of heavy set fans.
and they are children still. Just morbidly,
You'd be surprised how many more obese children.
It's how they fit in the big red car.
they just.
That's why that exists. I don't know how we got here.
How did you write Big Red Car? Well, we have a lot of fat fans.
It wasn't enough that the car was just red. It needed something.
It needs to be big to
Extra.
be like
It needs to be
you
bigger.
know? Just include everybody.
Because there
You
are
know.
some chunkers in that crowd.
As soon as you buy the 5XL, you get a large Pepsi.
So naturally,
Diet
It's a
Pepsi.
diet Pepsi.
and then once you have that big of a shirt, you need to fill it out, and it's a slippery slope.
It's just a
It's like
vicious
you're just
cycle.
being proactive.
Right.
You know? Here you go. Welcome to the club.
You're one of us now.
One of us.
Back to the cult talk. No,
Assimilate.
the Wiggles cult.
Google gobble. Google one of us.
You think
So
about all,
it's
So they get all the
Big
kids
red
fat
car.
so that they can't get away.
you think about all
The Wiggles cult.
all the best cults, Jim Jones, Charles Manson to the Wiggles.
That's like a series of the Wiggles. Clearly.
Episode 6. Oh man.
The prophecy said.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh, that was good.
Oh, wow.
I think we can
Spine
top.
hurts from laughing.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think we can top that one. I don't think.
All right, well, this has been the Dresch Code. We had a good 14 episodes.
We're all gonna leave
Spoiler,
to
we're
join
actually all
to
part
join
of the
to follow the
Right, we
the
are.
Wiggles on the road.
The Wiggles are like retweeting this episode, like I don't know.
Someone's finally talking about us.
Someone's going to
We're relevant again.
It's like we have so many
Sell
empty
bigger
Don't be
shirts.
silly. They can't have they can't have their cell phones back in the kitchen where they're working.
Oh man.
Well, somewhere in the compound. Maybe
They
somebody's
don't
watching.
do TV anymore. Ah.
Because they're broke. That was a weird noise.
If you work in the kitchen, it's great. We love you.
Love you, yellow shirt guy. Come on our show.
Please don't spit in my food.
Just the yellow shirt guy.
Yeah,
not
Just
the
the
red
other
shirt guy.
guy.
Fuck
The rest
that
of
guy.
the guys are douchebags.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Yay!
Most time spent in any of my podcasts talking about the Wiggles.
You're welcome.
Okay, the question is pineapple on pizza a crime? But I just want to point out that is a beautiful M.
Oh, thank
Oh
you.
yeah,
That was a very well done.
Also,
Why does everybody rally about this so much?
I was in calligraphy.
Everybody hates it. So
Everyone
much.
hates this. I love it.
I'm thumbs upping it.
Yeah.
But
thumbs upping to talk about it, and also thumbs upping that fucking pizza, man. Like,
I
come
think
on.
that
Yeah.
you should be able to put whatever you want on a pizza.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
pizza's basic.
basic
Plus, sweet and salty, it sells.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
That is
These-
the most satisfying experience.
They're the same
Yeah.
people that'll be like a buffalo chicken pizza, or they'll do like a wrap that has like roast beef or something, and there's like things that typically aren't like you. But yeah, you can put pineapple on it. I think it's like just like a fake outrage. Like, oh, you don't do that just because I don't care for it. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
it's fine. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. It's about a preference thing, but it's like it's an abomination. Like, do you really feel that strongly
Yeah.
about it?
Is
I'm
anybody
fine.
making you eat it?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I'm fine with American.
Well, the guy in the yellow,
Canadian
the guy in
bacon,
the yellow
fuck
shirt
out of
said
here.
we can't. The guy in the yellow shirt said we can't have pineapple.
It's too healthy.
Maybe that's the problem with it. It's too healthy. You know?
Yeah.
Green peppers, though. You know,
Yeah.
that's all right. They don't even cook all the way through. That's gross. Pineapple is fine. Raw onion.
Name one of the Wiggles. I don't know, Eric.
Yellow shirt guy, yeah.
Eric. I don't know.
I
think you made me give up their
75% chance that one of them is named
I
Eric.
feel
Oh
like
my God,
it
probably.
seems pretty
Probably a
heavy.
James in there.
A Sean and
somewhere.
Erica James and a Ted. And a
Ted, yeah.
Ted.
Tom,
Ted's the red shirt.
Tom,
Ted's the red shirt. 10 red.
Fuck Ted.
10 red.
Red, red.
Fuck Ted.
we'll have it in a second.
We are.
Anthony, Jeff,
Close.
Greg,
Great.
Oh, I hate Greg's.
Sam,
You didn't hear me say that.
Philip,
Philip.
Simon.
Simon's the one.
Oh.
Simon's the yellow shirt guy.
How
And
many
He
on-
said
are
no
there?
pineapple.
And I like to do drawings.
All right, now drink your lard, kids, and go to bed.
I would like to point out his name is Jeff Fat. And Murray Cook.
Oh my God! It's real. It's real.
And they are still active.
Oh my God, how old are they?
And James Obese.
Where's their compound? Where's their compound at?
Oh my God. I don't even want to know.
I love. I'm gonna go into. You have history, band members, musical style, educational theory.
Oh, shit.
Educational theory.
Brand
That's
is
not
like
the Wiggles?
It's like Scientology. Yeah. Like to achieve
It's a kid's version of Scientology.
a full wiggle, which is like your life arc.
That's why I thought
It's-
it's weird that Tom Cruise was on that episode.
It all makes sense now. He's a producer too, right?
He was hopping on the couch and screaming.
Wiggles is just like Scientology Junior.
this gets
Hey,
worse
get
the
him
more
while
I
they're
read it.
Hey, get them while they're young.
The Wiggles became formally consolidated in 2005. The group's board of directors consisted of the original 3 members. Paul Field, who has been the general manager of operations since the group was formed, and their manager since the mid-1990s. In 2009, the Australian rock band AC/DC knocked the Wiggles, who earned 45 million Australian dollars, from the top of Business Review Weekly's list of top entertainment earners for the first time in 4 years.
What?
Jesus.
AC/DC, huh?
Jeez.
AC/DC.
So what
Who
you're
would have
saying
thunk
is
that they'd
this
be
is a
successful?
cult because
Wiggling's a hell of a drug. Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus.
Oh.
Next question.
Next
All
question.
that from pineapple on a pizza.
All that for pineapple on pizza. It's crazy.
It all comes back to a little
With the
wiggles.
wiggles. All the wiggles. And that's what they preach.
This is twofer.
Everything kind of wiggles into each other.
What's a twofer? If they knighted musicians, who do you think deserves it most that has not been knighted?
They do knight musicians.
They do
There's
that.
Sir Elton John.
If they knighted other musicians, who would you have knighted?
They have to be
Prince.
English.
They have to be English to be knighted.
Prince, because he's Prince.
Prince
No.
is
Sarah
outside.
Prince.
Americans can't
Paul McCartney?
receive titles.
You
He's Prince.
you can be knighted,
He,
but you
like,
can't receive the title.
transcends
You
that
can't
shit.
receive the
He's
title,
already
so what
been,
they
like,
do
a
is they give
royalty
you like
name.
Defender. There's like an
I think it would be
award that's
better
like
if it
Defender of the
was-
Empire
Yeah.
where you get a
Sir
fancy
Prince
medal and
sounds
stuff
Fair
like
enough,
that.
sir.
That's what they do for
Dame.
like they did for
Kind of
Giuliani
awesome.
after 9/11 and
Kind
stuff.
of
Yeah.
boring. Yeah.
If they're English, who
Sir.
would you call sir? And if they're American, who would you give an award?
Ed Sheeran, does he count? I think he's the only one.
Technically, Sir Ed Sheeran.
Sir Ed Sheeran.
Paul McCartney?
I don't
Sir
want that.
Edward.
But his,
Sir
I-
Ed.
I'm not about
I'm not in
this.
love with the shape
I'm not.
of family.
I'm not. That was good.
Thanks. Thank you.
I don't really. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. Someone. Sir the Thompson.
Sir,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Sir Johnny Rotten. Thanks for your
Billy Idol.
on nomination.
although Paul McCartney.
Yeah, he got it already, didn't he?
Well, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot more lately that are in. 'Cause it's-
Sir Charles Barkley.
I'm okay with that.
I'd be okay with that. He has spit on people.
Sir-
and
Yeah.
he'd be knighted as well.
Mix-a-lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir
That was
Mix-a-Lot.
actually an SNL sketch.
Oh right, remember that.
Oh,
Sir
yeah.
Mix-a-lot.
Oh, sir, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Defenders of the Realm.
Oh, that
It
was
like,
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elton John,
Sir Michael Caine.
Knight.
Richard Branson.
Shannon says that we should knight Jeff the Wiggle.
Jeff the Wick.
That's what they want us to do, though.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
how...
exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And they can't do it.
Don't
Can't give
into
him
You know how
what
much
they want.
exposure they'd get if
Don't
they.
play into it.
Sir Jeff, and oh my God. The prophecy is true.
And Jeff goes, I have a real name.
All of a sudden, everybody's TVs is like, I got the clap. And give-" It's all happening like he said.
This is not a trick.
What do you got?
What's your
What's the next question?
Easiest role you've ever played.
If you've acted.
If
If you've acted.
If you're directed.
I'm trying to think.
I was in a silent film. Wait, I
I
wasn't.
think we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We're
it.
gonna talk about it?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it.
Who went first?
I was sort of in a silent film. Not really silent. It was. I just didn't talk a ton. And at one point, I had to be dead, so I just had to like stare like
Sure.
blankly. That was easy. It was kind of awesome. But then my contacts dried out, and then it was all
Yeah,
over
that's
for the
really
day.
rough.
Yeah. And apparently I didn't look dead enough, so we had to do it
Didn't
like
look
5
dead.
times. They're like,
Deader.
you don't look dead.
Do my makeup better.
Teach me how to not breathe. I don't know.
I remember in high school, I used to always, because I was one of the, I mean, there were some guys in theater, but it was a small school, and I'd have to have like big roles, so it'd normally be like a lot of just the long, monologues and stuff like that. So I finally got to be like in a comedic one. It was like a haunted house one. I'm just this dumb guy that like falls through windows and stuff like that, and it was just like fun. Like, so I just like my arm was all bruised up, but like I literally, and I had like a mask on, like a broomstick, and then like I just had to be like a silly dumbass, and it was so much fun and so easy versus. Because then, like, the one I did before, I was like a kid with cancer, and that's not fun. I mean, yeah.
You in the yellow boat or what?
It was called Dream Walk, and it's super depressing. I got an award for it, but it's super depressing.
We made a high school production of Powder.
Yeah, powder.
I was in My Fair Lady, and I can't remember my role, but it was only like one line. And then I yelled something, and somebody did something else. But it was not difficult. I mean, yeah.
I was in a production of Almost Maine years ago where it was a role that I always wanted in the show. I had the show basically memorized before I even started. They didn't need me because they needed me to come in later. I was basically only in rehearsal for 2 weeks. I was gone dress rehearsal week, just came back and just did the show.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I played an octopus in The Little Mermaid in high school.
That's solid.
That's
And
cute.
I had one line, and it was, "We kept close watch."
That's a creepy ass octopus
Oh,
right
two
there.
lines.
Just give
My
him the
character's name
Oscar.
was Octo, and I forgot the second line was we all put our hands in because we were a group helping out.
Oh, yeah.
Did you put
Ariel.
all of them in?
Obviously.
Yeah, all 8. And I said Octo. And we did the Parade of Lights that year, and all my arms kept falling off.
Octo. Septo.
And I'm sure multiple times I'm like, hey, shit! Hey, shit! Hey, shit!
I'm a hexapus.
And I think they had one of the stagehands literally follow right behind me, picking up my arms.
And reattaching them?
Yeah, to make
Yeah,
sure, like,
yeah.
That's pretty
paper
good.
clip.
Like some kind of Cthulhu nightmare.
just like,
Kids are crying outside of the room.
An octopus is falling apart.
It's like that was a really
That's
dark
my costume for this year.
Right.
Zombie Cthulhu.
You gotta have somebody. You gotta have him follow you around and grab the tentacles as they fall out.
Yeah, that parade of lights really challenged my faith in God.
really did. And then all of a sudden they came by with the fire torches. It was.
changed my views. What did you play?
I was in a one-act play about the Holocaust, which isn't funny.
I never saw another butterfly.
But yeah, it was the Terrors and
I've done
Promises.
that twice.
It's the Terrors and Promises
Yeah.
one was. And either way, but one of my friends, he was terrible at blocking and to do whatever, so he'd walk in and his one line was, "We hid in the shed." and the first thing, so he comes in and he instead of turning towards the crowd, he turns towards the back window and then realizes, so he does a full 360. We hid in the shed. And Derek, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
oh,
He words me said it like a we hid in the shed. We hid in the shed. Like say it 5 more times, different ways. We hid in the shed. We shed. We shed. Oh shit. We hid shed.
oh.
God.
We hid in the shed.
I feel like that could be a podcast in and of itself. It's just you saying
It's gonna be one line. You say as many ways.
It was
as you
another one-act competition. Plankington High School had this thing, and it was about like a czar killing somebody. And it's not. This isn't funny. Okay, this historical whatever happened is not funny, but their reenactment of it was glorious. Okay, well, first off, like there's people that are held captive, and the one girl like watching, she's like, "My, it is stifling in here." And then there's like this 4-foot tall kid walks out with like a Pope hat on. He's like, "A bell will ring and I will be dead." And then there's the dramatic scene. There's like an execution line. There's 5 of them standing there. 5 shots go. 4 people go down. The lights are dark. The lights come back up, and the guy over there who was still standing, he's like, "Oh." You're dead. He's like, "Oh." It's like, "Oh, I did get shot." It was the funniest play I've ever seen, and it was not meant to be.
it's supposed to be so serious.
Shannon says Brian Hoffman turning serious one-act plays into comedic experiences.
That is an art form.
There's some good.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the best. It was so good.
One X was a beautiful time.
Yeah.
Those were good times.
So I was in this one-act play that was super fun though. We got to play. It was an easy role, but it was a fun role.
Kids Left Dog Died Now What?
Yeah, that was my favorite. I basically it was a musical about adults with their kids leaving the house and they're just facing like retirement and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And
Which is things you know all about, so obviously.
yeah, so we were 18. We totally got it.
Yeah.
Like we related hardcore. And the show starts with all the backing band. I was in the pit, but we're on stage, so we're all old guys playing on stage, dressed as old men, and we walked through the state audience throwing hard candies, and I had a walker and just was like, "Oh, the hemorrhoids!" And I just kept yelling things like, "Where's my donut?"
Do you think that's what you're gonna say when you get old.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all hemorrhoids and donuts.
I have it now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Sorry.
an
Poor guy.
issue. Sorry,
This
audience.
is getting to know.
Let's switch to camera 4 so you can see that. No.
like live shot.
The episode title.
Breaking news.
The episode title is now "The Burgundy Boys." Parentheses. Zach has hemorrhoids.
I've named it The Wiggles Cult featuring the Burgundy Boys.
Yes.
That's brilliant. That's beautiful.
That's great. I love that.
The Burgundy Boys, before they knew the nefarious actings of the Wiggles cult, actually did music with them. It's kind of like the Beach Boys' Charlie Manson. On a way smaller scale.
Smaller scale.
Robert, did you have a role?
Let's see. So I did a Puerto Rican stereotype for like an 8th grade 1-act play one time where we were terrorists and we were holding this like mayor's office hostage, and I was Juan, and I just had this big trench coat and I was just supposed to stand there and be like big and tough, except when Carlos talked to me I'd just be like, "See, Carlos," just like total stereotype. But my glorious moment of that was the bomb that we were using to threaten them. It's like I open up my trench coat and so it looks like I'm exposing myself to everyone in the room, and they all start like panicking and screaming. And then I turn around and I had like 4 sticks of dynamite and an alarm clock hanging right on my crotch. So it was like perfect.
Fire crutch.
Fire
The things you could get away with back in the early 90s.
Man, PC culture, man.
Yep.
Yeah, the crotch bomb days are over.
They really are.
Some high schools do it, but they're the least popular ones. Next
Let 'em be
topic.
Puerto Rican.
Next topic. Oh,
Well, that's long.
yeah. When a primary member of a band leaves the group, do you think it's time to end it?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh,
Talk about it.
talk about it?
Yeah.
I'd say so. When Lindsey Buckingham leaves Fleetwood Mac, fucking end the group.
Exactly.
Like,
Don't keep touring and charging $1 million for tickets.
yeah.
I think it's kind of a wishy-washy area. I think there's sometimes, like, depending on the songwriting, like, who does the majority of the songwriting, like, if there's still, like, look at Alice in Chains. I mean, Lane Staley was a huge part of the band. They were
Right,
much better
yeah.
with him in there, but Jerry Cantrell does most of the writing.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you know, they can keep it going. It still sounds like Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
It's still whatever else. And then even Blink-182, there were a few good songs off that one with Skiba, and I like Matt Skiba.
I love Matt Skiba, yeah.
But I'm kind of in the middle, because I think sometimes, like, you know, that's what I remember the band for, that person, and if I like that person. But it's all kind of case-to-case basis. Like,
Yeah.
It's Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Right?
It's a Joe Dirt
Stop
quote.
putting this shit out.
Skinner.
Terrible.
AC/DC
How do you
did
know
it
how
once.
Skinner's still here?
No.
Because they're all...
Oh, they're done.
Yeah.
They're fine. They were.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, that they all died in a plane crash.
Yeah, it's like the ship of Theracles or whatever, where it's like all the
Yeah.
parts have been replaced over time, so it's like
Yeah.
there's no one that's the original people in
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So it's just
Is it
kind of...
actually them?
Yeah, well, that's how I feel about AC/DC. They did it once and it worked, and now it doesn't because
Yeah, see, and that was kind of... I liked them better with Bon Scott, AC/DC, I did. But granted, you know, and I don't necessarily care for them too terribly much. I do appreciate their talent and everything like that, but I think that they were kind of a bit more creatively out there with the original singer, and then once Brian Johnson came here, it was just like... And like that's all it is, and then G, C, and D in a blues riff.
Well, they were one of those bands that if they follow the "if it isn't broke, don't fix it" mentality, which I get.
It works.
and it took them so long to overtake the Wiggles.
I know, right?
Wiggles are making a comeback, though.
They will after this episode.
Yes, they will.
That's a lot of name drops for the Wiggles.
The prophecy is
Yeah.
coming true.
It's like
Wiggles.
controversial. He shows. So did you see those lights blink as soon as I did that? They're watching.
Not again.
That's a sign. That's a sign.
Wiggles.
Wiggles.
With Journey, though, I feel like it makes it, as much as I miss Steve Perry, he can't sing the way he used to.
Sure.
So it makes sense why they have that Filipino guy.
And he does really well.
Yeah, he
killing
does a
it,
good
yeah.
job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a certain, I don't know, there's some that I definitely don't, like if it's a person that, like, they're the reason I listen to that band, I love them, then, nah, but there's some, I guess, I don't mind.
Well, there are some times when it's just like the band just keeps playing because there's like that 50-year-old who's going to pay $200 to sit in the
Yeah.
back, you know? And
Yeah.
they're just trying to carry on a memory at that point.
Right. keep doing what they love.
Yeah.
They have a market.
I saw
Yeah, it's
I saw
all-
a Starship play.
Oh,
They opened for Styx and Ario Speedway. I went to this in high school with my friend Damien, and so Grace Slick had left the band at the time, and so all of a sudden I'm like, "Who's Starship?" Because I didn't even know whatever at the time. And all of a sudden, like, they started we built this city and starts playing, and this old guy runs out with the tambourine. He's just doing
Oh god.
and like playing with a traveling band. He's like, "We built this," but the saddest part was he's saying nothing's gonna stop us now. Alone.
Oh.
So he's like, because she's like, let the world around us just fall apart, and like nothing's, and like she's not there, so something did stop you. But so he's just sitting there saying it was the saddest moment. And
Nothing's gonna stop me.
nothing's gonna stop me now. But like, yeah, it was,
And then leave the stage crying.
yeah.
What if they did something weird, like they had like Alanis Morissette's backing band from her prime, but they replaced it with some random like old Jewish guy in his 50s? Like, you ought to know.
Yo.
I'd pay to see that. Like, oh,
I would too.
Their
Yeah.
guitarist is great.
Like, just somebody with like a really proper like old British accent. It's like, and isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
It's like rain.
That's beautiful.
On your wedding day.
It's like a spot of rain.
Somebody please do
On your
this.
wedding
Yeah, I'd
I'd love
pay
to see this
that.
video.
Make this happen.
It's the best idea.
Just spoken word.
William Shatner style, just like, she packed my bags. Last night, briefly.
So spoken word is the future of classic rock. That's
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
Like revamp
Yeah.
classic rock into spoken word.
Hey,
yeah.
Timothy Roth's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
Just like, jump!
Might as well jump.
Whatever, you'll pay $500
Just
a
a
show.
gigolo.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, I would love to be these people on the same, like, just to be able to just carry on something you did 20 years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Well, and if people are gonna pay money for it,
Yeah.
then get
They will,
you know
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
do
blame
it.
him.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
Dylan
you can.
barely shows up to shows anymore, but people still
Yeah.
pay to see
Yeah,
him, you
and
know?
there's still, I mean, and you get out there and do it, and like a lot of people dog on people like revamping their thing, but if like because I know Dylan sounds like old jazz now. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's a strange
Yeah.
show. It's
He
not
sounds
what
like
you.
Tom Waits now.
Yeah, he does. And
Yeah.
but I mean, also you've been playing this for forever. Do stuff the way you can do it better. Do it whatever. And so I mean, it's kind of going and seeing the thing, but you're not necessarily seeing it at its peak of when your interest is. But
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the pineapple and pizza thing. It's like you can't totally judge it. It's like, okay, this is it. This is your different piece. So the different piece is the pineapple. Wiggles.
I was waiting for it. I was like, the winner's gotta get in here somewhere.
Bring
They have
it
to get in here
home.
somewhere.
Everything wiggles.
Everything revolves.
Everything wiggles.
There's actually some Wiggles t-shirts outside I thought I saw.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just-
Yeah, we all have T-shirts and a can of lard that we have to eat before we go to.
Yeah, and they're what, double
Before we get
XL?
board up in the bus. You eat your lard at 8:30.
Show starts at 9:30. Eat it fast. Wait, no, the opening act's at 9:30. Wiggles hit the stage at 10:30. You better be fat by then.
Next
Better be
question.
Jeff Fat.
Next one. That was Jeff Fat. Jeff Fat.
If you could permanently delete a word from the English language, what would it be?
Oh, that's worth talking about.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
What was the question again?
If you could permanently delete a word from the English language,
Okay,
what
yeah.
would it be?
Random.
Yeah.
Really?
That's so random, isn't it?
So random.
It's so random that happened. We just bumped into each other.
Fine is the thing that I would.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I
Fine's a
hate it
rough
when
one.
somebody's
It's a
like,
good
"Oh,
one.
you're fine." I'm like, "How the hell do you know that?" Like, come on.
Yeah. Fine usually doesn't mean you're fine. It's
Yeah, it
like-
never
it's-
never
there's-
means it's
Yeah.
It
fine.
means
Yeah.
you're fine.
It means you're sleeping on the couch.
No, that's fine. Like it's never a positive thing. It might be like at best, it's a dismissive thing. You know?
It's ominous.
Yeah, fine.
Just be direct, people.
If you run into someone like a friend on the street or surface level, it's like, how you doing? Fine.
Fine.
It's like basically a cry for help at that
Yeah.
point, and you're just like, "Do you need to talk?"
I guess maybe remove fine in that tone because it's like something that's like fine wine or fine something like that to describe. But like if
you
it's
could call
just
it
fine,
refined.
refined.
Yeah.
Like in that case, you could just be
So
keep the
you
word.
weren't fine
but-
and then you are fine again. I don't.
I want to get rid of.
No, like refined.
In that case, I want to get rid of good as well. 'Cause
Good.
It's kind of like, how are you? Good.
Good. Yeah.
I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
remove good, then you only have evil. Where's the balance?
I'd rather say I'm feeling
Philosophical.
evil. I'd rather say
I'm
I'm feeling
feeling.
More fun.
I feel
Way more
very
fun.
evil right now.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Despicable.
Yeah.
Sharon wants to permanently delete phalanges.
Phalanges. Yeah, it's kind of
Or
a strange
Shannon,
word.
Gina Phalanges.
Shannon.
But those are my fingers.
Yeah. I thought that was something for lizards. So I don't know that
Phalanges
word
is
because
good.
because of Rango. They use it in
Yeah.
Rango. Get
What's
your
toes?
phalanges off my boots. And that's all I remember.
Yeah, phalanges is a weird word. I'm trying to think of like a what word like pisses me off. You can go.
I'm still kind of.
Can we, like,
I'm
how
trying to work
often
one over
does
too.
Shannon use phalanges that it annoys
Oh
her
no,
that much?
she uses it often.
Trying to think.
She's always thinking about phalanges.
It's also
That sounds like
it's
a
a
personal
it's a
problem.
prominent word on Friends.
Yes.
It's Phoebe's fake alter ego's last name. Regina Phalange is her.
I think
That is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I think the things being described as epic, like that word's had its time.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
not-
fair.
Epic,
That's
yeah,
fair.
epic.
rock
Yeah.
star. There's another one. Oh, you're such a rock star, but you
Yeah.
have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
All I did was bring you a donut. A rock star.
Like you're a rock star.
I'm not doing that. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm supposed to be like this high in cocaine
It's
right
like-
now. If I was
yeah,
a
it's
rock
like-
star.
Yeah, you're a rock.
You see no naked women around me whatsoever.
I
It's
use
just
that,
a donut.
I use that one all the time, but in the back of my head, I'm always thinking like, well, if I was really a rock star, I'd break their lamp and like
Yeah.
start screaming about
Yeah.
something.
Actually,
Demand have a
Start
pet
cussing
monkey.
Yeah.
people out,
One
smacking
time-
people because they got the same color M&Ms.
When I was working at you're a rock star.
I don't know. Like you're supposed to come up with like little things that you. I want all red Skittles.
All red
Yeah.
Skittles.
Or
Only the red
Only
ones.
red.
the red.
You bring me a yellow Skittle, I swear to God, I'll stick it up your
You
ass.
have to dress me as.
I need 13 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with half crust. The crust needs to be off the left side, but on the right side.
And I mean, you cut
you
the
can
crust.
alternate
You cut the
alternate.
crust before you make the sandwich. I don't want to cut in my other crust. What? Yeah, you rock star.
It's such ridiculous. I forgot what I was gonna say.
The phrase winning.
Wiggles.
Winning, yeah, winning.
Wiggles.
Yeah,
Wiggles.
that's a big one right there.
Winning is
yeah.
right. Well, because I
It's
liked
Charlie
it. I liked it with
Sheen.
like the Santana song, you know.
Yeah.
But winning and all that. And then
Charlie
there's-
Sheen ruined that shit.
Yeah, he did.
Rob Thomas ruined smooth for me.
Yeah, he did.
You're smooth.
I would love to walk back some modern day slang. I think we can just get rid of yeet.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeet.
What does that
What
mean?
the fuck does that
I don't
mean?
even know, but-
What does fleek mean?
We don't know.
It's
Eyes
gone
on
now.
fleek or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to mean good, but
It's like
it's really dumb.
perfect or like
It's on
on
fleek.
point, basically.
But fleek.
But
Yeah.
like who
That's
the
so
hell came up with
2008.
Yeah. See, and I still don't understand it. It takes me like a decade to understand it, and then it'll be gone.
What is a Fergie? No, what is the 2008
Fergie
thing.
or furry?
I don't want to discuss any of those.
What's
No,
yeet? Is that the word?
Yeah,
See, now I gotta look that up.
YEET.
I've seen
And
it.
in my experience, it's usually like the precedent to something incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeet.
So
means-
it's like a
I'm
conjunction?
gonna throw this cup
Oh, that
of
is a 2008.
I'm gonna throw this cup of coffee out my window, and people will just be like, "Yeet!"
It's a way to express excitement.
Yeet. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Now I'm gonna start doing it.
Yeet.
Yeet.
But like, I feel like that's just like scripting excitement at that point. So just being like,
I think that seems more like it's just you're trying to like make a noise like someone says yeesh or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
What's it
Or
sound like if you pull up a zipper really fast? Yeet.
That needs to be the new definition.
Yeet.
Oh boy.
When one
Woot
pulls up
woot.
their zipper
Woot
too
woot.
fast.
I still say woo.
I say woot woot all the time.
Yeah.
I won't give that one up.
I love that we didn't choose to get rid of any of the offensive words in our language and
Oh
culture.
yeah.
There's so much
Like we're like,
fun.
no, those are fine. Keep those.
There's so much
Oh,
fun.
you know, that's a very good point. The F word starts with an F, ends with a T, rhymes with maggot. I don't like that one.
Yeah.
It's not a good
no.
word.
There's
They're called
other-
so,
Good one.
I would get rid of that word. I think that's because that one, stings from childhood. But to not think about that,
Yeah.
I guess moist, that's a bad one.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Supple
goes
is actually
against-
more
goes
of an
against that
uncomfortable
so
word.
Supple is weird.
It's an uncomfortable word.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Seepage has no good connotation ever. Whenever has anything seeped positively?
Unless it's coming out of the anal.
Then you obviously haven't seen the Wiggles season 3. The
That's why we
the
wiggle.
positivities of seepage are all around us. Wiggle.
That's the whole reason behind the wheel.
I was talking to my old roommate about like how I was like paranoid about starting a cult, and I think it just accidentally fell into this one.
You had a breakthrough tonight.
I did.
Yep.
You're giving me a reason to buy a Wiggle shirt.
Bobby Koyman loves saying plump and slather. But in a breathy tone, like slather.
Slather in a breathy tone has an ominous feel to it. Yeah.
Plump.
Girthy is a strange word too.
Girth was a favorite word.
Girth is a good one.
Yeah.
There's an
That's
episode where episode of Friends where Chandler and Ross are talking. I always reference Friends and everything. Ross is talking about, women talk about everything. Stamina and girth, and Chandler's not even paying attention. Wait, girth? We're talking about girth now?
There's an episode of Big Mouth where they talk about girth.
They do.
The
They do.
whole 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember the first time hearing the word girth was a hot dog commercial, and this guy's like talking about like they're girthy. He's talking about the ballpark pranks.
Oh God.
And that's the first time I heard the word girthy.
Hashtag advertising.
Probably the last time they was in an advertising commercial too, or in a commercial.
Have you guys seen the I mean, I'm not sure, like the Hidden Valley Ranch commercial about the BFD? Okay, they call it BFD, Big Flavor Delivery. Okay, so then it cuts to like this guy and his son or whatever, and he's like, that's my boy, and this is my BFD. I'm like, no!
That is so inappropriate.
Every advertisement, they advertise the shit out of it. Every ad for BFG, the big friendly giant.
Yeah,
in my head immediately, big fucking giant.
I thought like big fucking guy.
They've got
That's a big fucking giant.
or like Monster Energy has the BFC, and it just says what
You
this
know
stands for.
This is why I love marketing.
Comparison.
Oh God.
Irregardless.
Oh my God!
There's
no.
never a use for it. Anytime it's used incorrectly.
Well, yeah, it's a double negative.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
and also when somebody throws it around, I immediately assume that they're 10% less intelligent than I am.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, I know that's in you.
It is fun to say in a Boston accent, though. Irregardless.
I can't remember who it was. Like, how do you say Bob and Barb?
Bob.
Bob. It's like, Bob, you go over to Bob's house. Barbara.
Barbara. Oh, okay. Barbara.
Not Bob. Barbara.
Bobby and Barbara. Barbara.
Bobby Brava.
This just turned into a Bob's Burgers episode.
It did. It totally did.
Love that show.
I do too.
Literally.
Literally, yeah.
Whoa.
Literally, can't even.
Did you know that they changed the definition
I
of
was gonna
it?
say can't evens too, but ooh, yeah.
They changed the definition of literally in the dictionary to also mean figuratively now because people use it as figuratively
Yep.
so much.
Oh,
It's
God.
like,
We changed the fucking language. Western civilization
makes
is
it
dead.
So dumb. Yeah.
I mean, but that's how we got from Shakespeare to where we are now.
So,
Dear God, in 500 years, where will we
and
be?
figuratively
Yeah.
now redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for people that are
that's a word loop.
redundant.
Redundant.
Yeah, it's not.
Dumb, dumb.
Brian's look just.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Next topic.
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, that's a long one.
Oh.
Zach, you need to stop.
Oh, this one might be dicey. When an artist gets accused of some form of misconduct or does
Oh,
something,
boy.
fail it.
No, we're talking about it. Talk about it. Talk about
I
it.
think we can talk about
Okay, when an artist gets accused of some form of misconduct or does something that society deems immoral, can you separate the art from the artist and still enjoy their work, or is it something you never revisit?
We should talk
Talk about it.
Absolutely not.
I have a huge one on that.
Oh gosh. In the aftermath, a friend of mine was going back and watching all of Louis C.K.'s stuff, and I'm like, this makes a lot of sense now, and I am incredibly creeped out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that it's hard to, especially when it's that personal of a format of art too, like because there's certain things like no Bill Cosby thing is, I mean, like it's funny, and it never really was to me anyways, but
It's a different crowd.
and I understand that, but I think depending on what happened and how they make amends with it and how you do whatever, you can see whatever. But separating the art from the artist, I think there's a fine line, because if you start, because sometimes that kind of feels like you're dismissing what they did, and like that's not a big deal. And because I have a really high, because I really liked Kevin Spacey, but I can't watch it. I can't support someone like that.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, exactly.
I see him all the years. Well, I hope you get raped by Nick. Whoa!
Yeah.
You're supposed to be you're Scottish. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on a horse waving. And
I think that someone can also be kind of because some artists are like assholes, and they can be very talented and kind of be like an asshole, but you can separate it in that situation. But if they're like raped somebody or have been doing a lot of like sexual harassment, then you just like that's when you can't really let it go. You know what I mean?
I grew up with Michael Jackson. Like my mom, like when I was I grew up with Michael Jackson's music, put it like that. So that's a part of my childhood. So I still I danced around to that as a kid with my mom, but. And you were never convicted by. A lot of people said you were raping kids, so it's hard for me to separate myself from that. But
I think that sometimes you can do it too. Like if you're not like consciously doing it, maybe like I get this song and it's not, because on a level we're all kind of desensitized to certain people and certain things and stuff like that. But I won't seek out like Louis C.K. and stuff anymore. I won't do it and it's upsetting. And I mean, even friends and like that are musicians snake around here that are like super talented and whatever, but they're doing shady shit. Like, and it really, I don't know. I have to respect the person before I can. Then I don't know.
The art is how you connect with that person. And like if you found out your friend was like doing something super dumb, you wouldn't be like hanging out with them and having dinner with them and whatever.
Yeah,
so it's spending time with their art just doesn't make sense anymore, because you're like, I feel uncomfortable around you now.
Yeah,
like
because you kind of misperceived who that person was.
Yeah, exactly.
Through things, and sometimes that can be like I said, depending on the actions, on the misconduct, whether. If it's someone's just a dick, like a lot of people have said, like, Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes is a dick. And I'm like, sure, he's probably a dick, but I enjoy the music, and I'm not his friend. I enjoy his music, and I understand, like, you can't be friends with everybody. But that's an entirely different thing than someone who's, like, sexually harassing somebody.
Yeah, if it's I've heard they're an asshole, it's not going to faze me as much. But if it's harassment, then that's something I'm like,
Yeah, if you're being a shady piece of shit, then, like, I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped listening to Brand New. I can't listen to
I can't do it anymore either. Yeah, and that really, really sucks, because Brand New... I had a good friend, Benny from Green Bay, he ended up passing away, and we remember we were drunkenly singing Sogram Loretta Lime in his kitchen. That was the last time I hung out with him, and it even ruined that for me, so it was just like a good memory, and it's like, God, why do you have to, but it's hard to separate it, and I think that sometimes people do, but they don't necessarily do it, consciously.
Well, it's just nice to think that you don't have to, people should just be nice to each other.
Everything should just kind of wiggle
Especially
together.
If you're making money off of crowds, you should not be doing shady shit.
It was also weird because last year Brand New released a new album, and it was hugely critically acclaimed. A brand new album.
It was good.
It was a great album, and then 2 months later,
as soon as that, I'm like,
everyone took it off their lists, and people that did got so much crap for it, and I'm just like, it's just hard to listen to at that point.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like people who treat other people so disrespectfully. You're like, you don't have respect for other people. You cross lines all over.
It takes whatever emotion that you did get out of the music. It takes it out and makes it seem fabricated.
Yeah.
It seem like and.
Anytime I've tried to go back and listen to artists like that, I don't feel right listening to them. After a track, I'm like, I can't do it. I tried. It's just
there's certain things it takes you out of it.
The only one that never bugged me when I listened to it was Kanye. Yeah. I don't know why, because everyone just knows Kanye.
He's just a douche, though. He doesn't really do. He just kind of douchey stuff.
As far as I know, he hasn't attacked
He hasn't
anyone.
done harassment, right? He's just.
He just goes and tries to be like the regular.
He just tries to be
a best friend.
Yeah,
contrarian no matter what, because
marrying porn stars.
Yeah, look at versus his reaction from Hurricane Katrina to George Bush doesn't care about black people to fully supporting somebody who didn't denounce the KKK and stuff.
Who really doesn't care about black people.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
want to
what the hell
have
are you doing,
one-on-one conversation.
Yeah,
with him.
but
Was it really one-on-one conversation?
No, there's a lot of
It was.
reporters.
Did you guys see the SNL Weekend Update about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Trump removed all of his valuables from his desk.
Yeah. I did love Pete Davidson's Weekend Update commentary about Kanye.
Make Kanye 2006 again.
Yeah. When Kanye started gathering people around and talking, I left because I want a career.
No, I love when Adam Driver hosts is like, no, you're the one person I want to hear about this summer.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Do you remember the one where the Saturday Night Live that was like right after he did that, and Mike Myers shows up and is like right next to him, and it's just like,
Uncomfortable.
Oh, hey, how's it going, man?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Him being so uncomfortable, like his face way after he said that, he's like,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could have warned me, yay, what's going on, man?
I will say for emo night though, when that happened like 2 months ago or something, I wore a Deja Intendu shirt because that was
Sure,
just the
yeah.
thing that
Oh, yeah,
night.
yeah.
Other than that, like I just can't.
There's those things, yeah, you kind of...
Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm a hypocrite for like
Yeah.
a night.
I think we all can be, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's if you have it like right in the forefront of your mind and you're still supporting it and you're like, I don't care, then you're a piece of shit. If you just kind of like, oh yeah, like oh yeah, then you kind of. But I mean, because it's not. It sucks. It sucks regardless. Because like this is music that I really like that I can't enjoy anymore. This is like stuff that. But that's on like a small part of the spectrum versus like the terror that some of these people put on
Right.
other people
Yeah.
too, and that. Yeah.
I just thought about it. I haven't seen a Kevin Spacey movie since that stuff was
He
going on.
retired, I think.
He had one
Some
movie
even
called
the old movies.
Yeah,
though,
one
they don't
movie I think it
play
was
any
called
of
like
that
The
on TV.
Billionaires Club.
Yes.
And it made in the opening weekend. It made like $126,
Yes.
and no one would show it and everything like that because they had gotten done with production for it before all these allegations came out. Yeah, and it was.
And then
Wasn't
they-
there one where they like edited him out and did a bunch of like reshoots type?
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
They
so that
replaced him out
replaced
of
him
the
with
one movie
guy.
that he was shooting like
They- yeah,
at
they-
the very end of it. Like, well, you gotta go.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of cool though that as a society we're like, all right, you did this thing, you get removed. You know, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's kind of a positive.
I think
That's
so.
a
I
new
think so.
thing though, because
It's-
used to be
yeah.
before anybody knew about it and
Yeah.
stuff. Before we had the internet and all these nosy ass reporters like, hey, guess what this guy did?
Yeah.
Raping people.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
let's get him out of
there's
here.
all that, and yeah, I think it's good that you're getting shitty people out of this thing because they, you know, I mean, there's certain things. I mean, and there's people even in our scene that you know it's part of like some drama that no one wants to have to deal with, but. You know, you're getting that out of there to make it a more enjoyable, safer, accessible thing for younger people. Because, I mean, even like my daughter's 7, and I want her to be able to go to shows when she's whatever, and not have to worry about you know stuff like that. And it's a really good thing. I do think you know there is some danger in like throwing out allegations and then not having anything to back, just like
Right.
accusing somebody because that does happen too. But that's a small spectrum of things. Like. I like, that if you're a piece of shit, you get called out for it, and that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. So that's one good thing with it. But then there's also that other side where people are just like, oh, yeah, who cares? Boys will be boys. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, boys won't be boys if you don't allow them to act like that.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be boys, but they'll be gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
There we go.
Gentle boys, whatever.
Yeah. Gentle boys.
Respectful humans.
Actually, the Wiggles they announced 5 gentle boys who are allowed to have pudding with their lard. But it's only if you can recite.
Coincidence would have it, all of them are in this room.
They are.
Pause. Wiggles.
Oh, this is great.
I think we covered good ground with that one.
Yeah.
This is a good philosophical one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It'd be cool if they did that with sports, though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Hit your
Yeah.
wife in an elevator and they actually kiss
You
you.
know,
out.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
kind of
I mean,
to draw back up, but
That's a really hard one because I know being I am a 49ers fan, but even the NFL with several different things there's problems. But like Greg Hardy, you know that thing where he was like he beat his girlfriend and like hit her head in the toilet and stuff like that. But since it wasn't on video, like he got picked out by the Cowboys and everything like that. But since and not saying that anything that Ray Rice did that's freaking terrible, but you know, video evidence and do whatever. Like, why do you have to have video evidence if someone comes to you and says this person did this? Like, why can't you believe somebody that's saying this? You know, and that's, I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah, the list of that goes on. Like Richie Incognito still has had a career after that. I wish that was a made-up name, but that's
Richie Incognito. He seems like he gave himself that last name. He's like Incognito, right? Like,
it is a cool ass name. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, but like there's that one. I had another one that just flew out of my head, but there's just so. Or like Dante Stallworth was one that always. Going way back. Yeah, a few years ago. But like Dante Stallworth was in a vehicular accident. I don't know if it was an accident, but like killed a person.
Yeah, even Marshawn Lynch actually hit somebody with a bus when he was in Buffalo, and yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, well, Darren Sharper, you guys remember him from? Yeah,
oh gosh.
Yeah. See, he was, and yeah. So there are times, but I think that it's very inconsistent with how they do it.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, yeah. And then he took that antler stuff and he beat the 49ers when he shouldn't have, and they messed with the electricity. He should have won the game. Worst day of my life.
I'm a Jaguars fan, so.
Okay, fair enough.
I haven't had to have a.
They're getting better.
Another dark one, Chris Benoit with wrestling.
Oh yeah, nobody ever.
Well, I mean,
you cannot mention Chris Benoit.
You can't really punish a guy that's gone.
I mean, retroactively, they have scrubbed him from the records.
Completely.
Chris Benoit does not exist anymore as far as professional wrestling is concerned.
Canadian crippler? No more.
No, like he's gone. But like very recently, like Enzo Amore and Big Cass were the hottest tag team in NXT. Moved over to the main roster. Were okay. Enzo got kicked out because he was an asshole, and then somebody claimed that he raped her. And so then they nixed him, and then Big Cass had a physical alteration with his ex-girlfriend. They got rid of him. It's like, yeah, there is no nonsense anymore.
Zero tolerance.
And that's good. I think it's good as a society moved. There is some backlash on the other side, but it's good that
it's
things
a
are like
privileged
being
position
called out.
you're in.
Yeah.
If you decide to abuse anyone, go back to regular society. That's where they do that.
Yeah, you don't get to be superhuman
Yeah,
and
you're
treat
not,
people how
yeah,
you want.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that kind of is good towards people keeping their egos in check with things too. Like you get to a point where you think that everything, like and like you can't treat people like that. And I think that that's a good leaning more towards an empathetic society.
Well, because at that point they're treating other people as objects, like as the most hardcore
Rock
way
stars.
to treat other people as objects.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's at some level that was acceptable for a really long time. But it feels like it's becoming less and less acceptable, which is nice, especially because I'm a woman and I'm always like feeling vaguely like being objectified,
Sure, yeah.
I live in Sioux Falls. Like it's not even that bad here,
Yeah, but no, it's definitely a thing, and even versus conversations that because growing up, we've all said immature, really dumb shit when we were younger, and everything like that.
When you haven't learned boundaries yet.
Yeah, exactly. And you have all these things, and you realize. But I think that it's good that it's like it's not just like a lower thing, like this person's doing whatever, and like stuff. So it's out there, and people feel safer. And if you see somebody doing sketchy shit, or something about it, then I don't know, like say something. It's not easy to, but it's I don't know, like people shouldn't wiggle.
Yeah. People should not wiggle.
People should. Yeah, don't wiggle. Don't wiggle on your sensibilities.
Keep
Be respectful of other people. If they want pineapple on their goddamn pizza, let them have it.
Let them have it.
So says the Wiggles.
So says the Wiggles.
It's all in here.
Pizza sells.
Same.
I just really want pineapple on my pizza.
That's on pizza.
Smells good.
Respect me as a human and let me have it.
Should we do one more topic and then shameless plugs? All right, perfect. Did you do the last one? Or I did the last one.
Yep. Yeah.
There we go.
MTV or VH1?
Ooh, neither.
Is that a no? Is that a no?
VH1.
That's a no. And it
VH1
begins.
doesn't even play music. It's weird to
They
say that.
used
They
to,
don't
though.
even play music.
They
Like
used to
when
have like
MTV
sweet
stopped playing
documentaries
music.
on there.
Now it's terrible.
Now it's awful.
It's all weird, like reality shows that
Flavor of Love.
only black folks watch. Some odd shit.
What's your favorite and least favorite cliche? It's pretty
Oh,
vague.
that's worth talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know the what is that?
Oh yeah.
You know that cliche that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that
of
one.
right
You can-
now.
you can-
Something about
I
You can
agree.
put a dead horse in the water, but you can't beat it.
that's not even how that saying goes.
Why would you want to beat it? That's one I never understood. You really want to beat a dead horse? What does that mean?
You poke the bear, you get the horns. I love those.
You buttered your bread, now you have to lie in
Yeah,
it.
you buttered your bread, not lying it.
You poke a hobo, you're probably gonna get stabbed.
Looks like someone woke up on the wrong side of the basket.
That's just a life lesson.
No, so Jason Winton's commentary is like that now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let's see if he has another trick up his pants. Or it's just like, and that's just what Aaron Rodgers does. He just pulled another rabbit out of his head.
Just pulled another rabbit right out of his head. It was horrifying.
That'll move the chains.
It's still not as bad as Phil Simms going, now look, the Giants are a football team.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. You don't put all your eggs in one horse, all right?
Like John Madden, like, when you see regular players playing great football, that's just regular great football. Boom! Boom!
Oh, I love it.
Cliches.
I have some friends from Wisconsin. Like, that's anytime we're together, that's all we do is we'll just try to mess up those idioms, those cliches, and just something totally wrong. My, how the molehills have turned.
Last time we talked about kind of like anti-pickup lines kind of thing.
Oh,
right?
sure.
It's like,
Oh.
I noticed you had a drink at the bar. Does that mean you're a dependent alcoholic? Or you just happy to see me?
Yeah, there was one that was just like, you don't know me, but I'm going to go sit on the other side of the bar and stare at you for a while.
That's good.
Like, I noticed you noticing me. Should I file a stalker claim now or just wait?
Call 911.
My friend had one that's, we're breaking up now. Wait, we never dated? Let's change that.
Oh my god.
That could actually be good.
Yeah.
It could work out.
Depends on who you're talking to, really.
Pickup lines are so bad.
They are really bad.
Just the anti-ones are my favorite.
Yeah, those ones are good. Like, what is it? I think it was a Futurama one. It's like, you go to the grocery store because you got nice cans. Like, just something terrible like that.
God.
But, I don't know. Like, there was like an old commercial. I think it was like Cheech Marin was like saying, like, he's doing his pickup line. He's like, is it hot in here or is it just you? Just all these tacky ass ones.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any anti ones right now.
Yeah. I think other cliches
When the
that...
cat's away.
You've been running
Cat's
through my...
away.
Are your legs
Get cat's way. Give it up. Get a new cat.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come back, maybe not.
Maybe not. We had our cat.
The eggs have come home to roost.
One of my family's cats.
We have to think of something that's a play on, like, did you fall from heaven?
Yeah.
I was trying, and like they had that, was it...
You look like shit. Did you just fall from heaven?
Did you fall face first from him?
That's a great one. I love that. I'm going to use that.
You may have been cute at one
Did you
point.
fall
but-
from heaven? Because it looks like your arms kind of deformed a little bit.
Did you fall from heaven
It
or
looks
is
like
that
you're
just your
laying on your
face?
That's just your
great.
face.
Oh, that's great. Use that for a no pride night.
I'm trying to think of other ones that I came up with.
My favorite though is like the comebacks to pickup lines. Like one time I was walking downtown and this dude was like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Oh, you know." He was like, "No, I don't." I was like, "I
I'm trying to think of one.
Or like, oh, this is my other favorite one. Sorry to just flip it on its head, but this is my favorite. Somebody's like, "Oh, you're really cute. I love your, you know, like, you have a very pretty face," or whatever. I'll be like, "Thanks, it covers my unsightly skull."
One that I had was, I noticed my breasts are bigger than yours. They'd be my date to prom.
That's a good one. I should have used that one in high school. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have sleep apnea. Want to come over and see me struggle with that? I'm proud of that one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I was like,
Wanna
Like,
come
I have a
home and
sinus
help me name
infection.
my
Do you
future
want to
cats?
watch me wheeze while I eat a burrito?
I've already named all of our children. Do you want to start with the A's, or should we just start with the girls' names?
You're so attractive, you remind me of Susan Boyle.
You're like the before of the Susan Boyle.
Yeah.
Let's get you to the after.
When you're famous.
I dream the dream of...
Time gone by. Oh.
I'm attracted to you because you're really ugly, so that means you're really talented, right?
Yep.
Is that a
Got
mirror in your
boiled.
pocket? Because I can see the reflection of your ugly face in the mirror.
What?
What?
That was a weak one. I noticed your misshapen head and had to come take a look up close. Any plans Friday night? He's work, right?
Yeah.
You look just like Roger
Dresch, you
Dennis.
should practice.
You
Yeah.
know, the grass is always greener when it's not under a basket.
I noticed you buying that Katy Perry record and I noticed your bad taste. Want to go out next time?
I can help you get better taste in music. You look like the perfect project waiting to happen.
But they kept scribbling over it. Oh man.
So cliches.
Yeah, cliches.
Good ones, bad ones.
My ass is always greener when I've had some taco. Sorry. Oh man.
Camera 4.
We now go live on location.
Delaware. Hi.
I went to Delaware back in March. We played there, and yeah, I was like, oh, there it's like, and it's exactly what it's like. It's like, oh, I'm in Delaware, and literally, they like my friend. She went to show us like some stuff, and then like we went check out this like canal bridge, and it was in Maryland. So I'm like, oh, what do you do for fun in Delaware? Leave Delaware.
The best part is leaving the state.
There were parts that were really cool, but that was definitely a joke that was just built right in there. Like, yeah, for fun, we leave Delaware.
Oh. That's awesome.
That's good.
So shall we do shameless?
Sure.
I guess so.
plugs? All right. So at this point, shall we do shameless plugs, or if you have anything you'd like to promote, we'll
Okay.
talk about it and plug it
Look at
shamelessly.
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 Gosh.
I don't do anything without shame.
I mean, that's fair. I overthink
Step
everything.
3 is accepting your shame.
What?
Step 3.
3.
Ah.
And
Holy
then it switches
shit.
to whatever. Yeah, I'm ashamed of that, and that's fine.
My shameless plug is that I am a blogger, I guess. That's probably the only thing worth plugging right now. I write on Medium, which is a platform, not because I can talk to spirits or anything, which is a hidden talent of mine, let's be honest.
You're not Patricia Arquette
Apparently.
on the show called Medium, anyways.
But yeah, Medium is a platform. What I've been writing about lately is, when you grow up in a very conservative environment, and then you're like, wait, let's rethink all of this. So,
Yeah.
that's what I
So
did.
did you grow up in a conservative environment and being in South Dakota?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, the fun part was leaving South Dakota, which I'm doing next week, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's my shameless plug. You can find me on Instagram, which is how you could find my Medium profile. It's HeyKDubs, which is spelled out KAYDUBZ. Because
We've
I'm
included
cool
a
like
link
that.
in the show notes. So
Nice.
Sweet.
I guess the main thing I've been doing lately is a lot of my art. I just got my website set up. I'm constantly listing things. I paint and do whatever else, and it's I painted Zach
Wait, can you
This
just
is-
put it over his face?
tonight,
Yeah.
and
Bam!
I realized I felt pretty good about it. Then I realized on the way up that it looks way
do
more.
it again. Do it again.
It looks way more like my grandma than it does Zach.
Jeez.
And
I'm trying to stay out of the way.
but since he has that jar with the weird flowers on it, I think there's kind of a mixture there. You know.
That's Dresch in like 20,
Yeah.
20
Well,
30 years.
every person has a counterpart in an old lady in the Wiggles thing, and I think that's where it kind of merges. But yeah, so it's oddluckart.com, and I have stuff on there that I list, and I'm also going to be doing blogging on there as well, but I haven't gotten quite going with it yet. Otherwise, you can look up Odd Luck Artwork on Facebook, and then I also am playing Hy-Vee Market Grill on 26th and Marion on November 2nd.
I'm sorry, Odd Walk?
Odd Luck.
Odd Luck.
Yeah,
Okay.
or just Mumble Art, because I mumble all the time. But yeah, Odd Luck artwork. But I'm playing on 26th and Marion, the Hy-Vee Market Grill, 6:30, 8:30, and then also this coming Sunday at the Back 40 in Mitchell, I'll be playing from 11 to 2 and also selling art there, like their brunch thing. So,
Nice.
yeah, busy month, but
Awesome.
Cool.
The Back 40 moved to Mitchell?
yeah, they moved from Kimmel to Mitchell. Yeah,
Wow. That's
it's pretty great because like Mitchell has notoriously had like a hard time with getting original music there and things like that, but they support it a lot more, and it's really cool.
Did you ever go to the Back 40 when it was in Kimball?
Yeah.
Like, that was a neat space.
Yeah, it's just like that. They basically took the old Jackpot, but they made it like really cool, and they have like all the same like art themes and everything, and it's there. It's more accessible right along the. It's pretty great, and Kiki's really awesome with that. Yeah, so I'm excited because it's a venue that's closer to home that I can actually do because. Driving up an hour, like, I like all you guys up here, but it's, it can be costly. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
nice to have something close where you can actually get your stuff out there. So, yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Perfect. Whiteboi?
November 2nd and 3rd opening for Max Fine.
Nice.
Bosses, comedy, pizza. Yeah, it's and just because of the fact that I like them and I feel like they're having a rough time. Oh, so good in Garrettson.
Yeah,
It's
also
really
great.
good food.
It's a great place.
I don't work there. I had no reason to do that. I like the chef. So.
It's one of the best like steak and collard greens and apple
Yeah.
pie I've ever had.
What's it called?
Like,
Oh, So Good?
Oh, So
It's in
Good?
Garrettson.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
It's such a great place. Omar, the chef there, he's just one of the nicest people.
Cheesy grits and cheese,
Oh,
or
yeah.
cheesy grits and shrimp if you go. That's,
See, I didn't realize that cheesy grits were a thing until like I was down in Florida like last year. Because I've always had like sweet grits and everything like that. But like once you get like a little bit, if it's done right, it's really damn
good
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely Max Fine's really funny.
Yeah.
Bosses is awesome too. So
What time is the thing on the 2nd?
it's 8:00.
8 o'clock.
Yep, 2nd and the 3rd.
For those of you that went to Snow Jam last year, he was on Snow Jam 2017 Comedy Festival.
Max,
Max was, yeah.
I was too.
Yeah, you were too. Obviously, yeah.
You were too.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah. Well, not just us, but yeah.
30 people. Yeah.
Us and like a few other people that were kind of funny.
Right?
Yeah, so I've been working backstage with the Mighty Corson Arts Players, which is a different theater group that starts with an M that I work with. And so we're doing the 39 Steps. Our second weekend is this weekend, 26th, 27th, and 28th, which is a really great farcical take on an Alfred Hitchcock movie. So it's Spy meets Monty Python.
Nice.
Nice.
Really great show. It was just like a mile north of the Brandon exit. Tickets are like $10, so it's super cheap for some really good theater.
A mile north.
Say that one more time so I can.
Mighty Corson Arts Players, MCAP. The 39 Steps. Me.
Me.
Me. And then with Monsters Little Theater Company, which is my other M theater, we are doing a reading on Thursday, November 15th. With the Full Circle Book Co-op.
Which is
Hey.
awesome. Which is
Nice.
awesome.
Yes.
That's pretty sweet.
And so we are doing a show called Loving Arms, which was written by University of Sioux Falls professor Dr. Kevin Cole, which is
Shout out to Kevin Cole.
really cool.
Gotta get him
Which-
on this show.
Ooh, Kevin. Is that
That'd
that
be
what
great.
we were singing about replacing heaven with Kevin? That was
Oh,
before the
yeah.
thing started,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was
yeah.
before we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
I'm glad
That's,
it's
that's
still
one
a
of
thing.
yours.
That's, yeah. That's our other ones that we've come up with.
Yeah.
Stairway to Kevin.
Stairway to Kevin.
I love it.
Stairway to
Take
Kevin.
her away from me. She's gone to Kevin.
She's gone to Kevin,
So I got to be good.
I don't think that relationship's
get
going.
there?
I don't think that relationship's
We were
going
talking
on.
about
It seems like she's a lot more into Kevin. I mean, maybe just take a hint, buddy.
This weekend, I'll be handing out candy as the flu bug to kids on Friday and Sunday.
So,
I don't know if they're gonna
So
take
your shameless
candy.
plug is the flu.
so do
Correct.
they
Just at
like
your
put
house?
flu on you?
I don't know if I'm gonna be wearing makeup this time around. I don't think it's gonna be a good sell.
Like, do you have actual flu, like that you put on the candy?
No, they don't. I don't.
They're like, oh, you didn't get vaccinated.
It's like a petri dish, and they just like, no.
Okay.
Give us a hug.
Yeah.
Just phlegm.
Where are
You should go
where are you
as
going to be doing this? At your house?
I can't remember where. No.
Whose house?
You should go as the flu bug, FLOO, and stand in a fireplace.
Oh yeah, the flu bug.
Ah,
I like it.
That's clever.
I love it.
That's punny.
Yeah. And then doing 2 songs at the rap karaoke event at Icon on
Heck yeah.
Friday night.
Nice.
2
Pretty
songs.
stoked. I'm pretty stoked. 2 songs.
What songs did you
trades. White and Nerdy and So Fresh So Clean by Outkast.
There you go.
So that's a duo one. I'm stoked to do
Nice.
the Andre 3000 parts for that one.
Nice.
So I'm pretty stoked. I gotta find a costume.
Where's that again?
At Icon.
Okay.
So it'll be fun. Looking forward to that because last year I did Amish Paradise and that was a blast. That was we did because someone had already signed up to do Gangsta's Paradise. And they're like, hey, we have a bit of a conflict. I know you want to do Amish Paradise. How about he does like 2 minutes of Gangsta's Paradise, then you come up and finish and do 2 minutes of Amish, and we just collaborated. It was just the best
awesome.
experience on stage
That's
ever.
freaking awesome.
It was Zach DeBoer. Did the Gangsta's Paradise, and he dressed as Garth Brooks. It was priceless. And then I came on dressed as an Amish man, but I really looked like a rabbi. And
As you do.
as you do.
6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Right? Spirit didn't have Amish costumes, they had rabbi costumes. I'm like, close enough. So, there's that. And,
Not close at all.
Damn it! And I think that's it for me. Robert, you got any?
Podcasts, thesioempire.com. I've got way too goddamn many podcasts. Listen to some of my podcasts.
Listen to them all.
Listen to them
Yes,
all.
do it.
Just binge those podcasts.
Yes.
Listen to White Boy's podcast.
Exactly.
That should have been a shameless plug.
Yeah.
You plugged it right before. And yeah, Perlocution. Listen to I don't know how many listeners I have.
Yeah, I'll check it
Add
out.
to
I
it.
listen to stuff like all the time because I'm like constantly painting, so I've been just binging all that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
And I need to stop listening to stuff about cults. So yeah,
Except for ones
true.
about Wiggles.
Listen
yeah
to
except for the Wiggles.
That's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be your
start the
podcast.
Wiggles cult. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you, Kaitlynn, Brian, and White Boy for your
thank
you.
time.
Thank
And
you.
as always, thank you, Ryan and Robert. Always had a blast.
This is fun.
You've been listening to the
Donut Hip
Donut
Dresch
Hip
Code brought to you by the Wiggles.
Code.